What's going on, guys? Car Review Guys here. My name is AJ, and this week for a press car, we have the 2025 Mazda CX-90. This is the plug-in hybrid version, or PHEV for short, and this is the Premium Plus model. So this is fully loaded trim level. We'll be going through all the details. Next video is going to be 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. Over 23,000 subscribers. Thank each and every one of you. And here is the layout in case you want to skip through it. So we're going to start out with a cinematic 60 seconds or less, and then we will be jumping around the exterior, maybe not physically jumping, but you know what I mean. But after that, we'll be talking stats, figures, stuff like that while we're going around the exterior. Then we're going to jump into the interior, and then we'll be taking it on a drive. So without further ado, let's get right on into this review. Let's roll. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that cinematic. All right, this Premium Plus is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder pushing 323 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. That is combined with the combustion motor plus the EV portion of it. Transmission is an 8-speed auto. Drivetrain is all-wheel drive, and it is a true all-wheel drive, meaning they are always on, if you will, not just kicking on whenever, you know, one wheel starts to spin. Curb weight is coming in at around 5,267 pounds, and it's going to be pushing it from 0 to 60 in an impressive 6.6 seconds. Towing is around 3,500 pounds. Gas mileage is obviously important, and so you're looking at 25 mpg on the gas only, and then an average of 56 mpges, including the electric motor. Battery can go about 26 miles on its own, and of course there is a level 1 provided. And charge time with the level 1 charger is about 11 hours. If you go with a level 2 installation in your house, you're looking at about 2.5 hours for charge time. And then the actual gas tank is an 18.5 gallon tank. Now, touching on vehicle dimensions, overall length is 16.8 feet. Width is around 6.5 feet without the mirrors. Obviously a little bit wider with the mirrors, but you can fold those. And then ground clearance, you're looking at about 8 inches. Pricing is another important topic, and it's going to be starting at $49,925. That is on the base trim, aka it's called the preferred trim. Tester today, and I've never seen this in my life, is $60,000 including the destination charge, and that is literally dead even on the number, $60,000. While we're up front, just going to point out a few different things. You do have parking sensors. You can see them located throughout the grille. You also have a 360 panoramic view, and that is the front camera. You, of course, have LED lighting, super bright at night. And then you do have heads-up display, just showing what it looks like on the exterior. And then coming on around, again, 360 camera, another one on the mirror for the camera. And then it does have keyless entry. However, it is only on the front doors. It is not located here on the rear. This is your fuel door. EV charging is on the other side. And then coming around the back, definitely a nice looking vehicle, especially all the way around. The only thing that I would personally change is that wiper blade would be more up top. But other than that, it looks really nice. Now, of course, to pop the rear, you just come underneath the emblem, press, up it will go. This does have the 3rd row in it, as you can see here. And I will just show you what it looks like up through there. You actually have a decent amount of leg space, and the 2nd row is on sliders, so you can move those forward and back. Of course, you have cup holders there on both sides for both seats. And of course, you can fold them down if you would like. And then I will also be putting here on the screen the different cubic capacities. Before stepping into the rear, of course, you guys know that I tested out. I am 5'9". However, I wanted to show you very quickly, you can see that this seat physically sits higher than out in front of you. And again, it's kind of like stadium seating, if you will. You can see where the headrest is versus this. You cannot adjust up and down on this seat. Obviously you can on the driver's. Nonetheless, you get the idea. Just wanted to kind of show that first. Now, as we step in once again, I'm 5'9", if you're new to this channel. So stepping in, not much of a duck, to be honest. And then whoever sat in this seat, boy, is it straight up in the air. Like, I don't know, probably can't tell. It's probably not very, whew, boy, that's better. All right, so now that we're back here, we're looking, I would say a good 3 inches up there of head space. And then as far as leg space, you're looking at, I would say 7 inches, roughly, somewhere there. Seat back pockets on both, 2 USB-Cs. You have heated seats. You have your own temperature control here in the rear. And then just taking a look, you have your shade located over here. Obviously, you can put that down if you would like. And then as far as materials, all soft touch, and it is a really, really nicely done looking interior. And then of course, you do have a little bezel on the window switch. No wiggle, no jiggle, no complaints there. Last point about being in the rear, trying to get this camera to where you can kind of see this seat sits. And again, you can kind of see side by side, like you can go forward, right? And then you've got a good bit of space back there. And you can kind of see the difference as to where the seats are sitting just in the corner here versus that. And of course, you can see the leg room there. And if I'm sitting here now, there's probably only, I don't know, 2 inches, 2.5 inches, somewhere in there. So overall, there is a good bit of movement that you can have in these seats. So depending on what your use case is, you could definitely scoot this forward a little bit. I would say you could probably comfortably fit like 6'2", 6'2", and probably in the rear, probably closer to like me, like a 5'9" type deal, comfortably. Obviously, you could, you know, clown car it or whatever, but I do think that's pretty much where you would be comfortable. And as we're stepping out, the last thing that I forgot to mention, there is USB-Cs as well located in the rear. Hopefully you can see it located right there. And there's one on each side. All right, stepping on into the front seat. Very, very easy. There is no complaints getting into the front. I think just about anyone, whether like just because you don't have to step up real high, it's almost like it's barely a step. So anyway, very easy to get into the front. Taking a look at the door, and very similar to the rear, you have this nice wood, feels nice as well. And then obviously soft touch for both of those. You have all of your window switches, and then you do have power folding mirrors, which is nice. Your memory seating, which there are 2 settings, are located down here. Your rear hatch as well, and then obviously to pop your gas tank, TCS, parking, and then looking out in front, we have a fully digital instrument cluster. It looks really nicely done. They did a great job there. Out in front of us, you can see that there is heads-up display. I think Mazda calls it like active driving display, maybe somewhere in there. It's heads-up display. Nonetheless, here you're going to notice not a touchscreen. I don't know if it's like similar to other Mazdas. I honestly have not tested it. Other Mazdas, if you basically connect your wireless Android and or Apple CarPlay, then it turns into a touchscreen. Why we can't get this in park with just using it, I don't know. Again, I know they have reasons behind it for like safety. I get it, makes sense. Definitely people sometimes get distracted. However, if it's in park, I just think it should be able to be a touchscreen. Kind of silly, but here's where we are. Press the button and you can see up through here, pretty easy to use. No real complaints there as far as the pad goes, but it is kind of nice again just to have like the touchscreen whenever it's in park. Maybe one day we'll see that changed. Nonetheless, we have cooled seats, heated seats, and obviously a heated steering wheel. Dual zone climate in the front, obviously tri-zone as a vehicle. And then if we come on down, we can take a look here, split in the middle, a very, very small center console, not too much there, 2 USB-Cs. We can close that. The padding is nice and soft. And just taking a look at the seats, they are really nicely done. They feel nice and soft. Bolsters are perfect. Cushion is good. Nothing but compliments there. All the way up there is your wireless phone charger, which is nice to have. And then of course you have different mode selections. We can select EV only. You have off-road, you have normal, and then you have sport for me. I really just keep it normal. I think they've done a nice job with these settings on those, and we'll get more in that in the drive. Located up here, we can press that button, and while that is going back, you can see you have a sunglasses holder, and then up here you've got 3 different settings for your garage door, and you can see it is a panoramic roof. I think that's just about everything on the interior. Of course, we could get into all the settings and the screen and all that stuff. If you're not new to my channel, you definitely know. I don't go through all that. There's just really no need. The only thing I would go through in that if something like really stood out and it was different. Pretty standard infotainment. So nothing really to go through there. Without further ado, let's get this out on the road. As we get this vehicle out on the road, my first impression was the interior. The interior looks really, really nicely done. Love the color of this interior. The only like nitpick, if you will, the headliner. It definitely makes it feel nice on top of obviously the lighter color. However, obviously it's going to get dirtier quicker. Now, me personally, I only drink water in vehicles. That's it. So like the odds of it getting dirty, like in my possession, probably not. I know the average person definitely, you know, snacks and whatever else in their vehicle, and it's definitely gonna get dirtier quicker. Past that, that's the only thing I could even like remotely mention. Other than that, it looks really nice. That was my first impression. Let's see. Let's put this thing in sport here because I'm gonna have to get out onto this road and let's just kind of see what it does here. Let's try it. It's 100% on the noisier side. You can definitely hear a lot of noise whenever you're getting on it. I don't know if it came through the mic or not. It's here on my shirt, so which I, in general, try to keep other noises out to keep the video high quality, but nonetheless, maybe it'll come through, but it's definitely on the louder side. I have 3 categories for noise. You have powertrain, which obviously we just discussed. It's definitely on the louder side. When accelerating, when you're not, it's probably about average. And then you have wind noise, which is the second category, and then third is tire noise. Tire noise, you can hear it, but again, definitely acceptable. And then as far as wind noise goes, I think they've done a pretty good job with the wind noise, and a lot of manufacturers are doing quite well with the wind noise, so that is a good thing. Now, speaking of noise, we also have suspension. We're coming up to the cattle guard. We do that every single week, every press card, so you can kind of tell. We have it back in normal, so let's see how it does. Suspension, perfectly fine. Don't have any issues with that. Noise, again, no issue with that either. I would definitely say it's right about average. There's no disappointment there at all. Let's go ahead and touch on our blind spots. Over to my left, the only thing that makes it a little bit hard is whenever that sunshade is up. Yes, you can even, you can see through it, but at like first glance, it just kind of makes you like double look type deal. And again, this is coming from a sports car owner, an exotic car owner. I'm used to like horrible blind spots, but again, trying to put it in terms for the average person that's going to be buying this, and just be careful with the shade up, that's all I'm saying. Past that, the blind spot's not bad. Over to our right, the headrest of the second row seat kind of blocks just a little bit, but again, it's not bad. And of course, it is equipped with blind spot monitoring if you need it. Setting our cruise, it does have lane centering, so that's super nice. Some of the software updates, and it does stay dead center of the lane. My one little nitpick would be to allow it to stay dead center of the lane without using cruise control. Other OEMs do it, so it's not like it's not out there. It's nothing crazy. It would just be a simple update. Don't know if they'll ever allow it, but that definitely would be nice. Of course, keep your hands on the wheel, blah, 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 blah. You guys know the deal. Pay attention as always. As far as the interior goes, I love a lot of the features, having the heated seats, the cooled seats, heated steering wheel, lane centering, adaptive cruise control. Adaptive works well. No issues there as well. Heads-up display, or as Mazda calls it, active driving display or something to that effect. Nonetheless, it's heads-up display, or HUD, as some of you may hear it called. With that said, all of the amenities are quite nice, and then the paint on roof as well. This vehicle definitely has some advantages or things that you may look at that are pros over other vehicles. So one, obviously, true all-wheel drive, right? If that's something that you really want to where it is truly always all-wheel drive, this is definitely one you can look at. So if you live somewhere to where, it's super cold, always have snow, blah, 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 definitely a vehicle for that. Secondly, with it being a plug-in hybrid, it gets really good range. On a full tank, plus your EV charge, I mean, you're roughly, give or take, 20 miles up, 20 miles down, call it 500 miles. I mean, that's basically where you're at. So it's definitely, to me, a good range. No issues there. And then if on a level 2, again, being at like that 2.5 hour mark, pretty quick to charge. Again, it's not like a massive range, right? You're getting in between that 20 to 30 miles roughly on EV only. But it's kind of nice using it as both and not just EV only, because then you can really, to me, that's what maximizes your fuel efficiency. I could be totally wrong on that. I'm just telling you that's what it seems like with my week of testing. But that's two things it really has, is the true all-wheel drive, and it has a really nice interior, which plenty of other OEMs have nice interiors as well, but it is nice. And then number 3, again, having the hybrid powertrain. Mazda is always about the driving experience, and that's one thing I do definitely agree. So we're coming up to a little S-turn type deal. So I have it in sport, and I just want to see how it does. Again, definitely a big SUV, not small. You can hear it revving out, and then let's go ahead and just test the brakes here. Let's get on them. Okay, good brakes. Definitely handling the turn well on camera. Won't look impressive at all. Jamming on the brakes. Yeah, and then we're just slowing down. We're not doing anything crazy for this turn. Yeah, I mean, for the size of vehicle, that's where also this vehicle shines, is definitely the driving experience. The steering is heavier than some other SUVs. So like if that's not what you're looking for, then maybe this isn't the vehicle for you. If you want a driving experience vehicle and still get the amenities and get good gas mileage, this is definitely something that I would probably be considering. But yeah, overall, I think they've done a really, really nice job, right? Having a third row in the CX-90, that's a nice little option there. So again, last time, I would just say definitely a driver's SUV, and it is very comfortable. I have no problems taking this thing on a road trip. It is absolutely, you could have plenty of people in this vehicle, at least 4 fold thirds, and you could fit a ton of luggage in this vehicle. Of course, you could have less luggage, stack it all the way to the top, and you could fit 6 people comfortably, but the luggage you'd be a little tight on. But nonetheless, either way, it is definitely, they have done, I think, a very good job for a plug-in hybrid vehicle. Next video is going to be 5 things to love, 5 things to improve. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next. Peace.